ساقیا پیمانم پر کن که باید سر کنم. من گلوی زین حدیث عاقبت سستر کنم. خنده مستانه زین تلخی نابشرا، اشک دل فریاد مستانه به نامش پر کنم. یاد بادا، یاد بادا، یاد بادا ساقیا آن روی همچو هورا، آن نگاه اغلده در احمق مشهور را.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to start off our evening this evening by reading some poetry to you by Rumi. So, let me just move Kamia back to a space where he wasn't singing, so that we are not so... So I'm just going to pick out 3 poems for you. Hi Adriana, hi Tim, hi, lovely to see you this evening. So, I'm going to read 3 or 4 very short Rumi love poems. And I hope you enjoy them very much before we continue with our 1001 Nights reading. So the first one. The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They are in each other all along. I said to the night, if you are in love with the moon, it is because you never stay for long. The night turned to me and said, it is not my fault. I never see the sun. How can I know that love is endless? Lovers find secret places inside the violent world where they make transactions with beauty. And then one last one. Where did I see it? Here. Love isn't the work of the tender and the gentle. Love is the work of wrestlers. The one who becomes a servant of lovers is really a fortunate sovereign. Don't ask anyone about love. Ask love about love. Love is a cloud that scatters pearls. Good evening, everybody. My name is Joanna Godwin-Seidl, and I am an actress and director. I run a theatre company called Vienna Theatre Project, from which you will be seeing this reading potentially since March 20th of 2020. My colleague Saman Girard and I have been reading 1001 Nights. Tonight we are on the 442nd night, and if you remember, our protagonist, Abu Isan, I think, squandered all his inheritance, and the only thing he had left that his father had bequeathed to him upon his death was his father's favourite slave girl, who is named Tawaddud. And Tawaddud is incredibly intelligent, and she has told him to take her to the Caliph and sell her to the Caliph for no less than 10,000 dirhams, even though she's actually worth a lot more than that. The Caliph has invited all of his dignitaries to come along and find out if Tawaddud is really as intelligent as she says she is. And now she is expressing, all the fortuitous information about the Quran, which is very, very interesting for us non-believers. And for those of you who are believers, this may be a wonderful reminiscence of how your faith is. So now, when it was the 442nd night, she said, "It has reached me, O auspicious king, that when the damsel had answered the doctor's anant, the festival prayers, quoth he, 'Thou hast replied aright. Now tell me, what are the prayers prescribed on the occasion of an eclipse of the sun or moon?' 2 one-bow prayers without call to prayer or standing thereto by the worshipper, who shall make in each 2-bow prayer double standing up and double inclinations and twofold prostrations, then sit and testify and salute. What is the ritual of prayer for rain? 2 one-bow prayers without call to prayer or standing thereto, then shall the Muslim make the profession and salute. Moreover, the Imam shall deliver an exhortation and ask pardon of Allah in place of the magnification, as in the 2 sermons of the festivals, and turn his mantle upper edge downwards and pray and supplicate. What are the witr, the additional or occasional prayers? The least is a one-bow prayer, and the most 11. What is the forenoon prayer? At least 2 one-bow prayers, and at most 12. What hast thou to say of the itikaf, or retreat? It is a matter of traditional ordinance. What are its conditions? 1, intent. 2, not leaving the mosque save of necessity. 3, not having to do with a woman. 4, fasting. And 5, abstaining from speech. Under what conditions is the Hajj or pilgrimage obligatory? Manhood and understanding and being a Muslim and practicability, in which case it is obligatory on all once before death. What are the Quranic statutes of the pilgrimage? The ihram or pilgrim's habit, the standing at Arafat, circumambulating the Kaaba, running between Safa and Marwa, and shaving or clipping the hair. What are the Quranic statutes of the Umrah or lesser pilgrimage? Assuming the pilgrimage's habit and compassing and running. What are the Quranic ordinances of the assumption of the pilgrim's habit? Doffing sewn garments, forswearing perfume, and ceasing to shave the head or pare the nails, and avoiding the killing of game, and eschewing carnal copulation. What are the traditional statutes of the pilgrimage? The crying out of the Lebeika ad Sum, "Here am I, O our Lord, here am I." the Kaaba circuitings of arrival and departure, the passing the night at the mosque of Muzdalifah and in the valley of Mina, and the lapidation. What is the jihad or holy war and its essentials? Its essentials are the descent of the infidels upon us, the presence of the imam, a state of preparation, and firmness in meeting the foe. Its traditional ordinance is incital to battle, in that the Most High hath said, O thou my prophet, incite the faithful to fight. What are the ordinances of buying and selling? The Quranic are offer and acceptance, and if the thing sold be a white slave by whom one profiteth, all possible endeavour to convert him to Al-Islam, and to abstain from usury. The traditional are making void an option before not, after separating according to his saying, whom Allah bless and preserve. The parties to a sale shall have the option of cancelling or altering terms whilst they are yet unseparated. What is it forbidden to sell for what? Oh, on this point, I mind me of an authentic tradition reported by Nafi of the Apostle of Allah, that he forbade the barter of dried dates for fresh, and fresh figs for dry, and jerked for fresh meat, and cream for clarified butter. In fine, all eatables of one and the same kind, it is unlawful to buy or barter some for other some. Now, when the doctor of law heard her words, and knew that she was wit, keen, penetrative, ingenious, and learned in jurisprudence and the traditions and the interpretations of the Quran, and what not else, he said in his mind, needs must I maneuver with her, that I may overcome her in the assembly of the commander of the faithful. So he said to her, O damsel, what is the lexicographical meaning of wuzu? And she answered, philologically, it signifieth cleanliness and freedom from impurities. And of salat or prayer, an invocation of good. And of ghazul, purification. And of psalm or fasting, abstention. And of zakat, increase. And of hajj or pilgrimage, visitation. And of jihad, repelling. With this, the doctor's arguments were cut off. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. And I'm going to turn this round ever so slightly so that you get the full benefit of those lovely candles and my little lamp. Now, when it was the 443rd night, Shahrazad said, it hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the doctor's arguments were cut off, he rose to his feet and said, bear witness against me, O commander of the faithful, that this damsel is more learned in the law than I am. Quoth she, I will ask thee somewhat, which do thou answer me speedily, and thou be indeed a learned man. Quoth he, say on. And she said, what are the arrows of the faith? Answered he, They number 10. Testification, that is religion. Prayer, that is the covenant. Alms, that is the purification. Fasting, that is defensive armor. Pilgrimage, that is the law. Fighting for the faith, that is a general duty. Bidding to beneficence, and forbidding from frowardness, both of which are a man's honour. Commune, that is sociableness of the faithful. And number 10, seeking knowledge, that is the praiseworthy path. She rejoined, Thou hast replied aright, and now remaineth but one question. What be the roots or fundamentals of Al-Islam? He said, They are 4. Sincerity of belief, truth of intent, observance of the lawful limit, and keeping the covenant. Then said she, I have one more question to ask thee, which if thou answer it, it is well. Else I will take thy clothes. Quoth he, Well, speak, O damsel. And she said, What are the branches or superstructure of Al-Islam? But he was silent a while and made no response. So she cried, Doff thy clothes, and I will expound them to thee. Quoth the Caliph, Expound them, and I will make him put off his clothes for thee. She said, There are 22 branches. Hold fast to the book of Allah, the Most Highest, taking example by his apostle, whom Allah bless and preserve, abstaining from evil doing, eating what is lawful and avoiding what is unlawful, restitution of things wrongfully taken, repentance, knowledge of the law, love of the friend, and of the followers of the true revelation, belief in the apostles of Al-Islam, fear of apostasy, preparation for departing this life, force of conviction, mercy on all possible occasions, strength in time of weakness, patience under trials, knowledge of Allah Almighty and of what his Prophet hath made known to us, thwarting Iblis, the accursed, striving earnestly against the lusts of the soul and wearing them down, and devotion to the one God. Now, when the commander of the faithful heard her words, he bade the professor put off his clothes and hooded turban, and so did that doctor, and went forth, beaten and confounded, from the Caliph's presence. Thereupon another man stood up and said to her, Oh, damsel, here a few questions from me. Quoth she, Say on. And he asked, What are the conditions of purchase by advance? Whereto she answered, that the price be fixed, the kind be fixed, and the period of delivery be fixed and known. What are the Quranic and the traditional canons of eating? The confession that Almighty Allah provideth the eater and giveth him meat and drink with thanksgiving to him therefore. What is thanksgiving? The use by the creature of that which the Creator vouchsafeth to him, according as it was created for the creature. What are the traditional canons of eating? The Bismillah, and washing both hands, sitting on the left of the hind part, eating with 3 fingers, and eating of that which have been duly masticated. What are good manners in eating? And Scheherazade perceived the dawn of day, and ceased to say her permitted say. Now, when it was the 444th night, Scheherazade said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the damsel had answered concerning good manners in eating, the doctor who was trying her rejoined, 'Thou hast replied aright. Now tell me, what are the stays of the heart and their supports?' The stays and supports both number 3. Holding fast to the faith, the support thereof is the shunning of infidelity. Holding fast to the traditional law, and its support the shunning of innovation. And holding fast to obedience and its support, the shunning of disobedience. What are the conditions of wuzu? Being a Muslim, discernment of good and evil, purity of the water, and absence of material or religious impediments. What is belief? It is divided into 9 parts. Belief in the one worshipped, belief in the condition of slavery of the worshipper, belief in the personality of the deity, belief in the 2 handfuls, belief in providence, which allotteth to man his lot, belief in the abrogating and in the abrogated, belief in Allah, his angels and apostles, and in foreordained fate, general and individual, its good and ill, its sweet and bitter. What 3 things do away other 3? It is told of Sufyan al-Thawri that he said, 3 things do away with other 3. Making light of the pious doth away the future life. Making light of kings doth away this life. And making light of expenditure doth away wealth. What are the keys of the heavens, and how many gates have they? Quoth Almighty Allah, and the heaven shall be open and be full of portals. And quoth he from Allah, bless and preserve. None knoweth the number of gates of heavens, save he who created the heavens. And there is no son of Adam, but hath 2 gates allotted to him in the heavens, one whereby his daily bread descendeth, and another wherethrough his works ascend. The first gate is not closed, save when his term of life cometh to an end, nor the gate of works, good and evil, till his soul ascend for judgment. Tell me of a thing and a half thing and a nothing. The thing is the Muslim, the half thing the hypocrite, and the nothing the miscreant. Tell me of various kinds of hearts. There is whole heart, the sick heart, the contrite heart, and the vowed heart, and the enlightened heart. Now, the whole heart is that of Abraham, the friend of Allah, and the sick heart is that of the unbeliever in Al-Islam. The contrite heart is that of the pious who fear the Lord. The vowed heart is that of our Lord Muhammad, whom Allah bless and keep. And the illuminated heart is that of his followers. Furthermore, the hearts of learned ulema are of 3 kinds. The heart which is in love with this world, and the heart which loveth the next world, and the heart which loveth its Lord. And it is said that hearts are 3, the suspended, that of the infidel, the non-existent, that of the hypocrite, and the constant, that of the true believer. Moreover, it is said that the firm heart is of three kinds, viz. The heart dilated with light and faith, the heart wounded with fear of estrangement, and the heart which feareth to be forsaken of its supreme friend. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. We're going to go for one more, dealing with the Quran by Tawaddud, who really does know her way around the Quran, doesn't she? Amazing. And we're learning an awful lot as we read this. So intricate and interesting. Now, when it was the 445th night, she said, "It hath reached me, O auspicious king, that when the second doctor declared, thou hast said well, quoth she to the Caliph, O Commander of the Faithful, he hath questioned me till he is weary. And now I will ask of him 2 questions. If he answer them both, it is well. And if not, I will take his clothes, and he shall wend in peace." Quoth the doctor, "Ask me what thou wilt." And she said, "What sayest thou religion is?" Answered he, "Religion is confession of faith with the tongue and conviction with the heart and correspondent action with the members. He upon whom be blessings and peace have said, the believer is not perfect in belief, except he perfect himself in 5 qualities, namely, trust in Allah, committal of his affair to Allah, submission to the commands of Allah, acquiescence in the decrees of Allah, and that all he doth be done for sake of Allah. So is he of those who are acceptable to the deity, and who give to him and withhold for him, and such man is perfect in belief." "Then," said she, "what is the divine ordinance of ordinances, and the ordinance which is the initiator of all ordinances, and that of which all others stand in need, and that which comprehendeth all others? And what is the traditional ordinance that entereth into the Quranic and the prophetic practice, whereby the divine is completed?" But he was silent and made no reply. Whereupon the Caliph bade her expound, and ordered him to doff his clothes and give them to her. Said she, "O doctor, the Quranic ordinance of ordinances is the knowledge of Almighty Allah. That which is the initiative of all others is the testifying there is no God but the God, and Muhammad is the apostle of God. That of which all others have need is the wuzu ablution. That which compriseth all others is the ghusl ablution from defilement. The traditional ordinance that entereth into the Quranic is the separation of the fingers and the thick beard. And that wherewith all Quranic ordinances are completed is circumcision." Therewith was made manifest the defeat of the doctor, who rose to his feet and said, "I call to witness, O Commander of the Faithful, that this damsel is more learned than I in theology and what pertaineth to the law." So saying, he put off his clothes and went away ignominiously worsted. That's a word, isn't it? Ignominiously worsted. Then she turned to the rest of the learned men present and said, "O masters, which of you is the Koranist, the reader and the reciter of the Quran, versed in the 7 readings and in syntax and in lexicography?" Thereupon a professor rose and, seating himself before her, said, "Hast thou read the book of Almighty Allah and made thyself thoroughly acquainted with its signs, that its verses and its abrogating parts and abrogated portions, its unequivocal commands and its ambiguous, and the difference of its revelations, Meccan and Medinan? Dost thou understand its interpretations? And hast thou studied it according to the various traditions and origins?" "Yes," answered she. And he said, "What then is the number of its chapters? How many are the decades and versets? How many words and how many letters and how many acts of protestation and how many prophets and how many chapters are Medinan and how many are Meccan and how many birds are mentioned in it?" Replied she, "O my lord, its chapters are 114, whereof 70 were revealed at Mecca and 44 at Al-Medina. And it containeth 621 decades, 6,336 versets, 79,439 words, and 323,670 letters. And to the reader thereof, for every letter are given 10 benefits. The acts of protestation it compriseth are 14. And Shahrazad perceived the dawn of day and ceased saying her permitted say. Good evening, Danny. Hello, so lovely to see you here again. That was the reading of 1001 Nights and a little bit of Rumi at the very beginning. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will post the Rumi link in the 1001 Nights group page and on the Vienna Theatre Project page once I say goodbye to you, once I have said goodbye to you this evening, which is going to be right now, because as you noticed, I was yawning a bit because I have been in meetings since 2 o'clock in the afternoon discussing some very beautiful readings which we are going to be doing at a Schloss in Vienna. A Schloss is, it's kind of like a palacey castle kind of thing. So we're going to be doing that out in the country in September. So I've been in meetings about that all day today. It was an absolute pleasure reading for you today. Sorry I could not do it Thursday, but I was in meetings then as well. Because as you can tell, and as those of you who are in Vienna and Austria will know, theatres have opened again, venues have opened again, events are happening, people are organising events right now. I am in the middle of organising next season and also rehearsing for a play which I am going to be presenting as a kind of staged reading at the Kultursommer Wien, the Cultural Summer of Vienna, which was something that was instigated by the city of Vienna, particularly last year, to compensate for the fact that everything had been closed down prior to that because of our pandemic, the global pandemic, which we've all been going through. So I'm going to be involved in that this summer, which is going to be very lovely on a stage somewhere. Not me reading personally, I'm just directing the readers for that show, and it's a play called Die Emigranten, about 2 refugees, one political, one economic, in Vienna, or actually they could be anywhere in the world, but we've kind of based it in Vienna for this version. Anyway, enough from me babbling. All of you, many blessings from me. It was a pleasure, as I said, reading for you. Please look after yourselves. Have a beautiful Sunday tomorrow, whether you get your Sundays off or whether you are working. Enjoy yourselves immensely. Hopefully the sun will shine for you. If it doesn't shine in the skies, let it shine in your hearts. Many blessings from me. Good night, everybody. Take care of yourselves. And we will see each other at the very latest on Tuesday, I hope. So we'll see each other on Tuesday for another reading of 1001 Nights. And we are on book 5, and there are only 12 more books to go. And we've been reading for a year and a year and 2 months. So do the maths. Goodbye, everybody. Take care. And we're also only reading 2 nights a week at the moment. So goodbye, everybody. Take care. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Bye-bye. And have a lovely Saturday evening as well. Bye-bye. Good night.